you get an ice, and you get an ice, and you get an ice. Everybody gets ices. Buckle up, fuckers. It's the weekly Wednesday Ice Report, Week 7, Ice-pocalypse. We've got an ice in every single matchup this week. Let's get right into it. Starting off strong, we've got Matt, I Love Puzzles Baxter. Lamar Jackson ran, he threw, and he shit all over the Detroit Lions D. -7 points marks the new worst performance of the year and carries Matt to yet another loss, this time to Dylan. Next up, a guy so shit at sports he plays fucking field hockey. Christian, text my German number, DeAngelis. Primetime Kirk Cousins was too much for the San Fran D, who gave up 22 points and 400-some yards to the Vikings. That'll get you -3 fantasy points and a front row seat to Disney on Ice. Christian did still beat Billy, though, so who cares? After that, we've got Eric. I didn't set my lineup Barlow. Guy literally didn't do the one thing you have to do in fantasy football. DK hurt his Met calf and sat this one out. His bench warming was not enough to keep Barlow from freezing this week. And Eric somehow loses to a guy who put up 85 points. On a serious note, huge shout out to Eric not playing all his players. And I still had to fucking sweat Cam Akers beating me this week. Up next, we got Tome Ass and his Mo Lester. Shout out to Jared Goofball and the same old Detroit Lions for getting smoked by the Ravens so bad they didn't kick for points a single time. No need to ice the kicker when the kicker's icing you. Tomas goes down 111 to 128. Last, but most definitely not least, Steve Sheehan. Folks, I know I've been cracking jokes, but this really is a special occasion and needs to be treated with respect. Honestly, I didn't think we would ever see it. I mean, of course I knew it was theoretically possible, but I just put it in the same category as time travel or universal healthcare. But it's here, right in front of our very eyes. The first ever double ice. Not only that, but neither one was a kicker or a defense. Zach Evans and Goat Komet combined for 0 yards on 0 rushing attempts and 0 targets. They're only the second and third skill position players to put up goose eggs, not including the aforementioned DK Metcalf, because that was just Barlow not setting his lineup. Not only that, but the only other skill position player to drop a nada this season was Zay Jones in Week 2. Get this, also for Steve. I mean, we'll talk about the Miami Dolphins as a track team, but Steve's fantasy players are literally just running around out there. Despite this, Steve was playing Tage, so of course 2 ices was not enough to lose. Maybe next week Tage's opponent will get 3 ices and he can finally get off Puzzle Watch. Now, let's get into our awards for this week. First up, the 33 Degree Club Player of the Week. It's yours truly. As much as I hate to admit it, my team was ass this week. I only had 3 out of 9 players put up double digits, and only 2 of those 3 put up more than 14. I had 4 players combined for almost the same amount of points my quarterback had. Just a brutal week, but no ices. Shout out Bijan for getting those 3 yards. Next up, we have the Smirnoff Ice of the Week, sponsored by Jigsaw Puzzles. This one's going to go to Matt Baxter. As previously mentioned, the Lions' defense and special teams' -7 points is a new low for the whole league. Additionally, this loss brings him to 6 straight L's. He will need to piece together the puzzle of turning this team around, or else he'll have a very different puzzle to put together soon. Finally, our Steam of the Week. Folks, this one was easy. It has to go to Saquon My Chubb. Dylan had 4 players with over 20 points. His only single-digit performers were his defense and his kicker. He put up a whopping 157 total points, nearly 30 more than the next best total this week. Congrats, Faf. This last one isn't an official WWIR reward, but just a special shout out to Chris. Guy's gone 6 straight weeks with no ice. After Christian's downfall this week, he remains the one and only iceless manager in the league. How long can he keep his streak alive? Thank you all for watching. Thank Bijan Robinson for his 3 yards, and thank you, Eric Barlow, for not looking at the ESPN app this week. See you next week, you filthy animals.